at first. And it's very nice of you to let me know that we're actually being jumping straight into it. So I didn't do my usual talk about stuff that
Exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
No
Yes.
swearing. We can say hello to my little doggy. What's going on, dog? All right. Dude, the market's definitely bottom. What do you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, we've had that downside wick, and I think that things are looking different now.
That was that you could just feel that was the moment of absolute fear. Like I had a little fear of, oh fuck, if we break this one again, this whole bull market thesis is could be in doubt, right?
Well, definitely, yeah. I mean, they call it squeaky bum time when it gets to that
Oh,
situation.
ass puckering. But that's exactly. I mean, that's kind of like you've been here. You've done this for years now. Like that's kind of what you want to see, right?
Well, it really is, because let's just call it that feeling in your tummy. And the amount of times that you've been around the block with this, you can see the fear and you can see the greed, and you try as best as you can as a professional to distance yourself from it and remain objective.
Well,
But
I
I'm
think it's more than
human
that.
at
I
the
think
end of
there's
the day.
signal in the fear. So for me, the fastest bull markets go when everyone's shaken out. So for everyone to be shaken out, a thing like just happened probably has to happen. And look, that's the part where I do people a disservice. Like I tell people that there's all this money to be made, but I don't. Well, but the part that I've glossed over is that you're earning 10 times as much as you do in the stock market, but that's not free. Like it comes at the cost of your butthole. It's like it really
Yeah,
does.
it really does. There's there's certain things that you have to learn to live with, that you have to learn to like and see the good side of it. And that's the thing with trading, that is that emotional cost, especially when you're not quite sure how things
Your
work.
first cycle
You
is
know?
whoa.
Oh, if you give up in your first cycle, all right, you give up. If you get through your first cycle, it's a different world.
Yeah, you're a vet.
Yeah,
Dance
yeah,
underwater and not get wet.
exactly. Somebody recently posted in the group about how they'd lost some money in crypto through like a spurious transaction, and I was like, I don't respect anybody in crypto until they've been rugged or they've lost something,
Oh, dude,
because
it's happened to me. I'm just about to get my Mount Gox coins back after 10 years. I got ripped off 10
nine
years
coins.
ago.
9 coins. There you go, sir. Would you like a
No, no,
whack?
they only give me back 21% of them if I take the early payout. So it's 21% of 9.17 Bitcoins. It's a Bitcoin and a half, a Bitcash and a half, and some cash.
Right, right, right. So again, emotions.
All
If
right.
you, yeah, let's go.
Shall we kick off with it?
Let's do it.
All right. Welcome everybody. Really great to be here. And I am going to jump into the presentation. Today, I'm going to reveal exactly how the whales, the VCs, the institutional investors are taking advantage of this last crypto bull market. And I really think this is going to be the last one of the Wild West bull markets before it turns into like an everyday stock market thing. And it's slightly different than the last time we were here. The 2024 bull is going to be the biggest, but also the longest bull market we will ever experience. I'm going to show you the exact strategies I'm using to turn 5,000 into $1 million in 2024. And I'm well on the way to doing that. I'm going to hose that in actually. So if you've missed out on making generational wealth in crypto so far, or if you got fucked by the recent fuckery, if you got carted out on a stretcher in the last 3 months of bear market, we had 6 months of easy. We had 3 months of hard. We're just starting. And look at today's candle. Bigly up. The sellers are all shaken out. We're ready to rock again. We're back on easy mode. If this was you, take heart. This is your second chance. Because today I'm going to show you how to know in advance which coins are going to move. It's going to be your golden ticket to building massive wealth without risking your money. Takes literally 5 minutes per day. You can do this starting with just a few $100s. And to do that, you're going to want to mark this date, not 28th of April. God damn it. It's 28th of July, 28th of June, which is today. It's no accident that the market is turning on 28th of June, which is today. And you'll see why in just a minute. So who am I? I'm Scott Phillips. This is me. I look like a gorilla. I've got a beautiful wife and a lovely daughter. and I live in Phuket, Thailand. You might have heard about me as the trader from the previous bull run. I turned $40,000 into $769,000 in just 9 months. And that was a pretty good run. I did it with my automated trading systems, which were then manually executed. And I live streamed it all. I publicly showed all my winning and losing trades. And I did it with full transparency to show people that financial freedom isn't just a pipe dream. Everyone who followed the old AWCE system back then made bucket loads of money. It printed. But since then, I've made my systems even better. I've made the drawdowns a lot lower too. So I've gathered some of the world's best quantitative traders at my company, Real Trading Research, where we make incredibly profitable trades with currently 12 million bucks worth of accounts and for 952 people. So here's my big promise for you. By the end of the presentation, you're going to know how to set your positions for this bull run so you can know precisely which coins will explode. You're also going to know how to always be in profit. And it solves the when do I sell out problem. And this is the hard problem with crypto. It's when do I sell? In a bull run, the hard part is knowing when to sell and how much to sell. Otherwise, you can get caught holding the bag. Some of my spot bags, I got caught holding the bag the last couple of months. It's been very painful. But what I'm about to show you is an autopilot way to show exactly when to sell. And since the system automatically keeps you in profit, you can actually enjoy your wealth without having to constantly check your phone to see what the markets are doing. In other words, you're always liquid. You can always cash out when you're ready to buy that new car, buy that dream house. I just pulled enough money I've got 92% of my new dream house, which I'm building here in Phuket on the water paid for. And I've got the remaining 8% to pay when they finish it. And that's all been done with crypto. You could pay for your kids' college fund, or you could just go on a vacation, and I'll give you the step-by-step blueprint to actually build your net worth to more than $1 million. I know that might sound crazy, but just keep an open mind as you stick with me and entertain the idea that it could be possible for you, because I'm going to show you how. But first, I need to show you why we're in for the biggest bull market in history. And it could be the last really frothy bull market that we'll see, because once all the institutional money comes into crypto, well, from there, it's just like another stock market, slightly different. It's good for building wealth over 40 years, but my opinion, this is the last cycle where we're going to see those 1000x gains, the overnight Lambo money, the instant millionaires. This is the one to take advantage of. If you want to take advantage of the last but greatest bull market ever, you need to pay attention to what's happening to Bitcoin right now. And that anyone can do this. So in 2012, once it hit an all-time high of $11, and it sounds crazy, Bitcoin at $11, it rallied 1,800% over the next 9 months. The next time it did this, you can see it kind of sucked for a couple of years, but as soon as it hit all-time highs in 2013, it just went booyah, went parabolic. That all-time high of $1,130, it did nothing for years and years and years and years. But once it touched those all-time highs, it multiplied 20x. This was the first big breakout for Bitcoin. It went from $1,000 to 20,000. People thought it was overvalued at $1,000. Probably was. Then it went to 20. And as reliable as clockwork, in 2020, we breached the all-time highs. And then another historic bull market happened. So the clue is that once we hit all-time highs, every single investor has a lottery ticket in their pocket. You don't sell at all-time highs because it's a negative expected value thing to sell at all-time highs, because we know in the past all-time highs predict future highs. More buyers arrive because a crypto market that's mooning is a much more attractive thing to invest in than a crypto market that's in the doldrums. And it creates this positive feedback cycle where it goes to the moon. If you are lucky enough or smart enough to own crypto already, you would be crazy to sell now, because it's happening again. You can see we hit all-time highs. We had what is a very, very usual fuck around here. You know, we got it here. It's difficult to see, but we got exactly the same thing here. This last couple of months, we're just so early. It's happening again. I'm quite certain that the last 3 or 4 days were the end of the down phase. The 2024 crypto bull market looks like being the strongest ever. There's one date you have to mark down, the 28th of June and the 26th of July, 2024. These are the CME contract roll dates, and you'll see why in a moment. So for the first time ever, the new Bitcoin ETFs like IBIT can be paired, and there's 11 of them, can be paired with the CME Bitcoin futures to make a totally risk-free bet. Institutional traders call this basis trading. Let me explain. You can buy Bitcoin in an ETF with no counterparty risk. You can simultaneously short the Bitcoin futures on the CME, and you can collect the risk-free premium for doing that. If Bitcoin goes up, your ETF makes money, and your short loses money. If Bitcoin goes down, your ETF loses money and your short makes money, and it evens out, and you collect what's called the basis between them. So it's between this year, between 10 and 30% per year. That might not sound like much for crypto traders, but for bank traders, that's a lot. Like, you've got to remember that for institutional traders, 10% a year puts you in the top rank. So let's be clear about what's happening. When there's a gap between the futures price and the spot price, you can earn a basis trade. That basis trade is bringing in more institutional traders, bringing in more institutional involvement. And for the first time this year, this cycle, we're seeing traders confident enough to spend their profits on tiny altcoins. So let's take a quick look at what's happening. That'll make it hard to see. So this was the big crash. Let's move the cursor over to there. So this was after the crash. The dark blue line is Bitcoin. And you can see, with only 2 or 3 exceptions, everything is beating Bitcoin. What that's telling us loud and clear is that traders aren't jumping back into they're jumping back into Bitcoin, but they're even more excited about jumping back into altcoins. This is a first. So let's be clear about what's happening. When the flows went out of the ETF, you can see on the 13th of June, the flows were negative, 14th, negative, 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 flat, negative, negative, negative. Now look at the 25th and the 26th. For the first time, we're seeing these flows start to tick up. Those flows driving down forced Bitcoin to sell off. Bitcoin selling off forced altcoins to sell off. It created a positive feedback loop. That has stopped and reversed. You can see previous times where this has stopped and reversed, this has started a brand new bull run. So in my opinion, we're on the very, very cusp of a brand new bull run. So alt season is here. All the Bitcoin profits are flowing into the wildest and craziest coins you've never heard of. And the biggest gainers, to my absolute surprise, look at this. Actually, let's do it here. This dog we've had out beating everything. Like, that's nuts. That is really nuts. It's a Joe coin. Cock Inu. Mog coin. These silly Joe coins are worth over $1 billion each. And tonight we have the debate with Trump and Biden, and they have their own meme coins. Joe Biden, Dolan Trump, and the MAGA coin. We can expect the best of these meme coins to challenge Shiba and Doge. Doge is worth 24 at its height, Shiba 18. Pepe is probably the standout for the first to flip them. Dog with hat is probably going to flip them too. So I want you to understand something really clearly. The beating heart of crypto always has been and always will be the chance for a little guy to throw a few $100s on an unknown coin, turn that into lifetime wealth. It's happening now. Once that happens, crypto bull markets become unstoppable. Excitement for the Ethereum ETF is reaching fever pitch, and the halving usually has like a 100-day-ish sideways period, then it goes to the moon. That's exactly what we've got. So in 2012, in 2012, you can see we had this sideways period and then the moon. In 2016, you can see it went down and then sideways and then the moon. In 2020, you can see it went sideways, fucked around a bit, and then to the moon. The pattern is holding. So all of these things are colliding like never before. We've got the Bitcoin halving, we've got the ETF approval, we've got the Ethereum ETF, we've got the CME basis trade, we've got alt season, and we've got the brand new thing of meme coins. And I don't think you want to sleep on meme coins, because that is the beating heart of crypto, is the idea that you can throw, like, for example, I threw a few $1,000 into Retardio and it's 52,000. I threw a few $1,000 into Dolan Tremp and it's 18,000. Like, you can't underestimate what that does to people. I fucking love meme coins now. I thought they were stupid before I started making big money from them. Every bull market was started with a halving, but you might not be aware that every bull market also had interest rate cuts. So we're pricing in a 78% probability of the Fed to cut in September. We've never had everything line up in this perfect storm kind of way. And that's why I think this is going to be the biggest bull market of all time, but also the longest running crypto bull market we've ever seen. You are still very early, but if you aren't positioned right, you haven't got a moment to waste. And unlike past bull markets, we now have our AI showing us how to play this thing like a fiddle. The last 2 months has been near impossible to make money from crypto. Like, it has been a difficult game to play. My automated systems have made money, but I personally, in my own trading, I haven't made money. But all that changes right now. In the blink of an eye, now is the time. The real problem isn't making the money, though. It's just not fumbling the bag when it all ends. And let's be honest, because as great as crypto bull markets is, this is my third, it's Ian's second, they always end. The game isn't how much you make, it's how much you keep. So today's nothing held back day. No questions are off limits. This isn't some kind of bait and switch where I show you part of a cool thing and make you pay for it. Sure, I've got you something amazing for sale. I promise you that you'll walk away with every single thing you need to implement this strategy, free access to the automated tools I built to do the heavy lifting. So here's the plan. The plan has always been the plan. The plan works great. The plan is working great. We ride this alt season in its little waves. The waves last from 1 to 6 months at a time. We're going to use our 100x Coin Club picks. If you aren't already in there, I'm going to give it to you for free just for turning up today. And most of you are already doing that today with great success. Now, I'm going to show you in a few minutes how we take the profits from the 100x Coin Club, get about 10xing that on autopilot without ever risking the money that you've already made. When I say 10x returns on autopilot, you might think that's hype. Since 2019, what I'm going to show you today is turned a $10,000 starting investment into $203,000. Today, you're going to see a press button make money system that makes money every single year since we started in 2019. It's never had a losing year, has 4.5 million of 12 million of our own money, making 100% per year. It earns risk-adjusted returns better than Soros and Ray Dalio put together. That's not a joke. It works in bull markets and it works in bear markets, and you can see the last 30 days have been hateful for crypto. These are the various volatility targets of our systems. You can see we've done really, really well over the last month. So it works in bull markets and it works in bear markets. It printed money during the SPF, the FTX bullshit. Every other crypto horrible thing that you can imagine is actually great news for us. There's been no exceptions to that. It requires no thinking, no luck, no predictions. Requires zero knowledge of crypto or blockchain. It runs on autopilot. You don't need to check it at all. Takes 3 minutes to set up. If you can set up Netflix, you can do this. It requires zero technical skill, and it takes the risk out of things because it makes money like clockwork in bear markets. This is your number one danger in crypto, is getting excited, getting carried away, thinking you're so early, thinking you've caught tech in 1998, and then it goes down 90%. This is the big danger that we're trying to solve with this. 4 of the 10 biggest hedge funds in the world use it in TradFi. It's created countless billionaires and multimillionaires like this guy, John Henry. It's worth $4 billion. He owns the Liverpool Football Club, the Boston Red Sox, and that RFK Racing. This guy, Clifford Asness, he's worth 1.6 billion, but he manages 150 billion doing trend following. I've been doing this since 2014. Here's my own personal results. You can see I've had an absolutely amazing year. I'm up 149% year to date. And I'm up to $9 million and counting from doing this. It's all based on the oldest, the most consistent with the most amount of academic and real world evidence backing it up, simply the best way to trade, which is trend following. The trend is your friend. What is trend following? It's a simple idea that a coin that starts going up has a higher probability of continuing to go up. And it's a law of the universe, kind of like once a coin starts going up, people get excited about it, they sell it less, and so it starts going up faster, and more people get interested, and it goes up faster. And then they start talking about online about how much money they've made, and then everyone else jumps in. This is what happens again and again and again. We see it in every market in the world. We saw it with the GameStop thing recently in the stock market. We saw it with cocoa in the commodities market. We've seen it again and again and again with gold, with silver, with stocks, everything. This is an edge that was previously only available to the largest hedge funds in the world. Why? Because the futures contracts in TradFi are really big. It's 1,000 barrels of oil at a time to buy crude oil. You need 100 grand just for crude, and then you need to have 40 other things as well. So you can't do it as an individual investor unless you got $1 million. So there's an entire $300 billion industry of people who've been printing money hand over fist for 40 years. In that 40 years, not one trend following hedge fund has ever blown up. Firms like Dunn Capital, I know these guys quite well. They've outperformed the S&P by 475% over a 50-year period, but with big drawdowns along the way. So they've had 13 drawdowns greater than 25%, but what have you got? You've got 5 times as good as the S&P 500. My retirement accounts are with this dude, Mulvaney, buddy of mine, Paul. When I flipped to crypto, I gave my remaining TradFi money to Paul, who does exactly the same as I used to do. He's got an almost identical system, and he's outperformed the S&P 500 by 600% over a 20-year period. And he's been great for me. He manages my accounts. He charges me 20% for entering the orders every day, and it's money well spent because I'm up 149% this year. This is the trend following index of every firm that's got a 10-year track record doing this. And you can see the gray line is the S&P 500, and it's done great. There's no argument the S&P 500 has done great. The trend following index has just crushed it, even during the biggest bull market in history. Now, the first human city was in Ur in ancient Sumeria, this big bitch. But before they used money, before there was any idea of money, they used barley as money, sacks of barley. They used to store the prices of it in these clay cuneiform tablets that they stored inside this big bitch of a thing. And so they have these complete records of barley prices from 5,000 years ago that they dug up. Turns out trend following works just as well as it did. And in the 16th century, the first derivatives markets weren't from us. They were from Japanese rice traders. Japan was a feast and famine country, and so people would hedge out their future rice production. And there's a big financial market doing this. They kept immaculate records because they're Japs. They knew all about trend following even then. If you followed some of the price patterns that I post in the group, the retest variation pattern, the inside day pattern, I didn't invent any of those. Those all came from 16th century Japanese trend followers. Now, this billionaire Cliff Asness, he's worked out what trend following earned by decade since the 1880s. And you can see that it's never had a losing decade. It has losing years, plenty of losing years, but never has a losing decade. It has almost no correlation to the US equity market or the bond market. So it's a very, very attractive return profile. It's not married up. Almost every other investment you can take, if the stock market goes up, it's going to do pretty well too. But not this. So what I'm trying to say is that trend following is as close to a law of gravity as we have in financial markets. It just works. It's worked in stocks, bonds, real estate, FX, commodities, every country in the world for as long as money's existed. And before we even had money, it worked. It's worked for 10,000 years. Why? Because human nature hasn't changed. We're getting greedy. Trend following works because people get greedy when shit goes up. People get jealous when they watch their neighbor getting rich off some coin and they ask the neighbor, hey, how do I buy that dog with hat coin? Human psychology hasn't changed. We're still a species of monkeys wearing shoes who don't know that we're monkeys. We're still greedy. We still get scared when our coins go down. Terrified me the other week. The amazing thing the opportunity of our lifetimes is that trend following works 6 times as well in crypto as it does in the whole markets. And the yellow is Bitcoin and the blue is our system. We call this the greatest discovery in little guy finance. And why is it the greatest discovery in little guy finance? Because if you bought here, you're completely wrecked and you have to wait a couple of years until your money comes back. What if you want your money? What if you want to buy a house or a car and go on a holiday? With our system, you just have sideways periods. So you've always got access to your money. You're never more than an absolute maximum of 20% from the most money you've ever had. And on average, about 10%. So we have long sideways periods. But on average, you're very close to the maximum amount you've made. Now, let me show you this enough. So this is our chart of all the altcoins. 2021. The 2021 bull market. Let me show you. Happened in 2 goes. First of all, it happened in this go, and then it happened in this go. So we're going to look at both of those separately. So in the first go round from January 21 up until about the end of May, you can see the clear coin that you want to hold is Matic. The second best coin you wanted to hold was Doge, way before Elon started to tweet out of it. And the third coin's Chili's and Salt. How did you know out of all these coins that this one was going to work? So let's go back in time. Let's follow Matic. And you can see very early on, you can see it's starting to outperform its peers right here. It's the strongest coin way back. The second strongest coin, Doge, you can see right here, Doge is outperforming everything. And Chili's, clearly outperforming everything. You've just got to own some Chili's at that point. Don't know what it does. I still don't know what it fucking does. I don't care. As soon as it outperforms, you own some. And Solana, which did a 250x, you can see early on, it's the purple line. It's outperforming. This, if there's one thing I want you to understand today, it's this. So let's look at the second part of the bull market when things got really nuts. So this is that period up to here. So what happened? AVAX was the coin you wanted to hold, the black bad boy. You can see here, it's starting to outperform its coins. And here, by August, it's like running away with it. What's your second choice? NIA, same thing. You can see the brown line is starting to outperform really, really early on. Mana, you can see just comes from nowhere and just outperforms. You have to own some Mana once you see that. And Solana, which went from $1 to $250 and back down to $8, you can see it was outperforming right from about the same time as AVAX did. So if you were to finish that bull market owning these 4 coins, you've outperformed everyone, and everyone did great, but you've outperformed everyone by 500, 600, 620, 389, 333, 277%. Like you've just absolutely crushed it, because coins that start outperforming, this is the current bull market, you can see TIA here in the first run really outperformed early on. Coins that start outperforming, this one here, still outperformed. The coins that start outperforming at the start always continue to outperform. This is just a law of the universe. Bunch of maths behind it as well, a bunch of academic research, but you now possess the ability to know with absolute certainty which coins are going to be the moonshots in this 2024 bull market. Now, let me show you how to take all the thinking, all the guesswork, all the uncertainty, all the skill out of it, turn it into a system that doubles your money every year on autopilot. And just so you don't think it's all hype, I'm going to give, well, actually, we're not giving that away for free anymore. My apologies. My apologies. We did give it away for free for a while, but it's just too valuable. If you want it, just contact the onboarding team. Because I've been kind of a dick here, you can have a 50% discount on it for today. If you want me to automate everything for you so you can just sit back and collect the bag with no work and no risk, I'm going to offer you the best deal you can imagine on that. We can automate the whole thing for you into a press button money printing machine. That's what I personally do. You're going to learn how to ride this bull market for all it's worth, then compound your gains year after year after year into generational wealth, which is what I've done without lifting a finger. So let's say you bought Bitcoin in 2019, time machine, 3,742 per Bitcoin. Fuck yeah, you nailed it. Bitcoin's gone up, Bitcoin's gone down, Bitcoin's gone up. Bitcoin has done a compound annual growth rate of 57%. In that same time, our system has done 107%. But you'll notice that if you were yellow Bitcoin, you had to put up with some really bad days. Some really bad days, some days like last week, some days when everything looked like it was fine and it was far from fine, and it looked like it was over and it wasn't over, and it looked like we were at the end and then it was time to buy the dip and that was not the dip to buy. And you got really shat on. Like the guys who've held Bitcoin since the early days, they really deserve their money. What I'm offering you is a way to get better returns than that without any of the pain that they had to go through. Because at any point with our system, you could just cash your money out. You don't have to wait stuck underwater for the market to come back. In fact, if you bought the absolute top of the market, the tippy top, when Bitcoin was at 69,000, all your mates were calling you saying, how about them Bitcoins? You still would have doubled your money. You never had to try and time the exit perfectly. And that's the hard bit. You never experienced a losing year. That's important every year. There's something about consistency, guys. You never got stuck holding the bag. And if you stuck $10,000 in this back in 2019, you'd have $380,000. You've done really well in Bitcoin. There's no argument. And you've done even better in altcoins. Probably not for the extra risk you took, but FinRev has just crushed it. But the real point is that at year 5, you'd be at 380,000, and you're within a couple of bends down the road of an 8-figure retirement fortune. And that's enough for anyone. I don't care what you say. If 8 figures isn't enough for you to retire on, you need to grow the fuck up. If you wish you had a time machine, this is the next best thing. If you were one of those people like Marty, we have to go back to 2011 to buy Bitcoins. Well, this is those same kind of returns. I've traded this way in the old market since 2014. My retirement accounts are not 4.3 million. They're now 12 million Australian and counting. We've been running it on crypto for a couple of years now. The results are incredible. A year ago, we offered it to our best clients in the middle of the bear market. During the bear market, while everyone else was taking it right in the arse, the real results are amazing. We did 100% in the bear market. This is after fees and costs, mind you. No bullshit. No, this is not a back test. This is real results at a Sharpe ratio of 1.7. If you know what that means, that's world class. And these are 2023 full year returns for the biggest and best hedge funds in the world. You can see there's a guy at 59, 48, 44, but by the time we get to the middle of the pack, these are down to 15 to 10%. And there's plenty at 2.7%, 3%. Hang your head in shame, boys. Like, we're beating you like a redheaded stepchild. Why? Not because I'm better than these guys. And I'm not. I don't have an army of PhDs working for me. I get 7 programmers and I've got 1 PhD. So I can't be better than these guys. What am I doing? I'm sitting at an easier poker table. I'm not sitting at the World Series of Poker. I'm sitting at some sketchy Indian casino with a bunch of drunk guys with cartoon profile pictures of monkeys. We promised to double people's money in a year. We've done that. Every single person who's used this system for more than 3 or 4 months has made money. Everybody has won. There's been no exceptions. I've never heard anything like this in my life before. Mostly what people sell you on these webinars is a bunch of promises not to come in your mouth that never come true. It's all mostly a bunch of bullshit, and this is the one thing that actually delivers on what it promises. So let me show you how it works. Let's get a bit nerdy and dirty for a couple of minutes. So this is the dashboard you see when you log in. This is your net principal, which is the amount of money you've put in less the amount of money you've taken out. Now, the important thing to understand is that we never touch your money. You're not giving your money to me. I'm a totally untrustworthy guy. You should never give your money to anyone. You keep it in your own account, your Binance, your Bybit, your KuCoin, or if you're an American, you can use one of the distributed exchanges or BitGet. This is the market value of this particular account today. We've got lots of accounts. This one is, so he's put in less taken out, $82,000, and he's got $144,000, and this is his profit. It's pretty easy to understand. He's held this right through the bear market, and you can see that since the bull market kicked off here, it's been pretty nice. It sucked for the last couple of months, but boy, did it turn around recently. The last month has been banging. The next thing that you want to see, the trading is an 80-20 business. So you can get a snapshot glimpse of what's going on by going, these are our 10 biggest longs, and we've only got 4 longs right now. We haven't even got 10 longs. We've got mostly shorts. And if we look at these shorts, these are things that we want to be short in. AVAX, ADA, XRP, VChain, ICP, Phil, TR, and the ones that we're still long, we actually still want to be long. So we can go to our portfolio tab, sort by notional value, and see. So the biggest position we have is long, and most of them are short. Let's have a look at this. Why are we long this one? This is our forecast. This is how it works. If the forecast is positive, we go long. If the forecast is negative, we go short. And you can see that here we started to go long. Why? Because it was going up and we've been long and it's been making money. It's the only thing that's been making money for us long. Compare and contrast with AVAX that we've been short. So AVAX, we went short here. And we're still short. We're short all the way. Now, you can go down and see a position history. On the 27th, we had $8,992 worth of shorting here. 8,495, 8,164. So we added to our short about here. But most of the time, we're just wiggling up and down a little bit. Now, the next thing you can see is the trade history. You have absolute granularity in seeing what we're doing every day. So if we look at today, like, actually, let's reload this. And let's see what's happening like right now. So, sorry, it's just going to take a minute to load. So we're buying a little bit of everything today because the market is way less. Sorry, Zoom doesn't like this page for some reason. So the market is less bearish than it was. So we're banking a bunch of profits in our short trades. And this makes sense. We're buying a couple of $100 worth of Bitcoin, a couple of $100 worth of Ethereum. Sorry, Zoom just craps out on this page. Okay, so how else does it work? It works like this. So to set it up, you choose your exchange. These are our exchanges. We're just about to onboard with the new version of DYDX version 4, which is a huge upgrade, by the way. Customers are going to be very happy with that. I think it's going to be our best exchange. KuCoin is our worst performing exchange currently. This is the only one I'm currently unhappy with. So you choose your exchange. You make an API key from your exchange. You copy and paste that in here. You click save, and that's done. So what happens is at 0000 Greenwich Mean Time, which is about now, it's in 20 minutes. The system says, okay, we've got $82,000 to trade with. It's going to build the perfect portfolio for $82,000. Let's say you want to pull out 20 grand or 82,000 or whatever you want. Say you want to pull it out. You don't have to email support. You don't have to ask me. You don't have to ask me anything. You just take the money out. You just do a withdrawal from your brokerage account. You just send the money back to yourself in USD tethers or whatever. And the system the next day goes, okay, you pulled out 30 grand. He's only got 52 grand. We'll build a new portfolio for 52 grand and just adjust. Does that make sense, guys? It's pretty simple. This is about creating generational wealth from crypto. So it's all about compound interest. And I never really understood it until I experienced it, until I hit 8 figures of net worth myself from doing this. And, if you're at 100% a year, even if you start at $10,000, by year 5, you're at $320,000. But that's not the point. The point is that you're within sight. If you just stay the course, by year 10, you'll be at $10,000 at 1,024x. Like this is the game, is compounding wealth. Our strategy is done on average 107% per year. No shit. If you're at year 5, all you have to do is stay the course, hands off the steering wheel, don't fuck it up. Just like be cool, man. And you're gonna retire with enough money to do whatever the fuck you want. Like, forget private jets and private islands and all that bullshit. You can get 80% of anything that any rich guy in the world does with 10 million bucks. 10 million bucks is enough for anyone. It's enough for me. It's enough for you. If you think it's not enough, I'd say you have to grow up. And this is a way to get that. And what you want to really do is know that the only way you can fuck it up is by putting your hands on the steering wheel. This is the way you fuck it. This is the way everyone fucks it up. Oh, let's look at the last 6 months. This is the classic way to fuck it up. Let's look at the average. So these are our various volatility targets. Blue is 35, red is 40, green is 45, orange is 50. You can see that when the market's, the classic way to fuck it up is to say, oh, it's not working and pull my money out here right when it's coming good. And it always comes good. It always comes good. It goes sideways and then it comes good. It goes sideways, it comes good. It goes sideways, it comes good. It goes sideways and comes good. I know what you're going to ask is, why can't we have it any other? Why can't we have it so that it makes money every single day? Well, because then everyone would do it and there'd be no return. You get paid for these sideways periods. You got to be really clear about that. That's what you get paid for, is accepting the volatility, keeping your hands off the steering wheel. There is a lot of skill in keeping your hands off the steering wheel. Now, there's one tip. If you want to add to the system, don't add to it at all-time highs. Add to it in drawdowns. So I have another account. Let me show you my high volatility account. Actually, I'm having trouble doing that. I'll send it all through to you later. Yeah, I've got a high volatility account, and I added money during the drawdowns. I added 20 grand here. I added 60 grand here. I added another 20 grand here. So, that's all been a really great decision. So I tend to add on drawdowns, and you've just got to know that if you can manage to keep your hands off the steering wheel, this is going to make you rich in 5 or 10 years, no matter how small a grub stake that you're starting with. If you can just not mess with it, if you can not worry about day-to-day fluctuations, then at the end of the year, you're going to show a profit. Now, there is a difference between bull markets and bear markets, and this is very interesting. In bear markets, we get very long sideways periods with explosive growth. In bull markets, we get shorter sideways periods and steadier growth. So you make money faster in bear markets, but you have more bullshit to put up with. Bull markets, 19 to 31 days is average. Bear market, 60 to 148 days. And I think our last period here, this has been 101 days, and we reached the low after 80 days. It's somewhere between a bull and a bear market. It's like somewhere confusing. So my goal for you is the ability to do whatever you want, wherever you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, anywhere in the world. And money is just a tool to buy your time and freedom. Most people use their time to buy money. They go to a job and they get paid for that job. I want you to use your money to buy time, to do whatever the fuck you want. Money is just a tool to buy freedom. Compounding does the real work. So who's impressed so far in the chat? Oops. First, I owe you a big thank you. You've given me your time and attention, and hopefully you've given me your trust, and I don't take any of that lightly. I just want to thank you all for showing up today and still believing in crypto, because it's been a shitty couple of months. So for those who know me, words alone aren't enough to thank you for supporting my quest to be the best of the world at this. And it is the honor of my life to grind like an animal every single day for this community, lead us all and myself to generational wealth. I've got one more thing to show you, and truly I've saved the best for last. So what if you could earn twice as much as the system I've just shown you? What would that do for your life? How much faster could that get you to your freedom number? So if we're starting off with red and blue racing each other with $10,000, one's 100% per year, one's 200% a year. By year one, it's a big difference. But by year 2, it's blowing out. It's 90 versus 40. And by year 3, it's 270 versus 80. And then it gets stupid. This is the key. This is how the really big algo trading firms like Rentech, like Jade Street, like Susquehanna Group, they make so much money by blending multiple systems together. This is the trick. This is our long-term game plan, is to blend as many different systems as we can, not just trend. We've got 6 on the drawing board. And the idea is that when one system isn't working, another one will. And so hopefully we smooth out some of these and make it more. You can never totally smooth it, but more like that. Now, carry is our second system. Carry is one of the strongest edges in finance. Not quite as good as trend. It's 53% per year, compounding at sharp 1.17, but it has a very nice return profile. You saw in trend that trend kind of sucks because it goes sideways and it makes a lot of money quick. Carry is the opposite, sucks in its own way. It makes money most weeks and then shits the bed. It makes money most weeks and shits the bed. It's got a very different return profile. There's actually far more money using it institutionally than trend. It's a very high capacity, but it's not quite as good. But when we combine these together, we get an amazing combo. We're taking carry at 53% per year at sharp 1.17 and trend 100% per year at sharp 1.71. And we go from 100% per year to 243% per year at a sharp of 2.15. Now, what I would say is that this is turned up to, we choose a volatility target or how much your account is going to wiggle. And we choose that individually for every person. So, you get choices of mild to wild. So in the good times, in the bad times, this is the wild 50% volatility target, does much worse than the mild, the 35% volatility target. But when things start kicking off, we look at the last 30 days. When things are going good, the wild outperforms the mild drastically. This is the devil deal that everyone has to wrestle with and decide, where are you on the mild to wild spectrum? Where am I? I'm 45%. I'm in the middle. So I would recommend dialing this down from 243% per year. I think because you're going to expect 35% drawdowns here. I think most people freak out at 35% drawdowns. I've had 20% drawdowns, and I think that's about as much as you guys are going to handle. And that's going to turn this down to about 180% per year. Still good, but I think that's going to be easier for most people to live with. So our system is custom designed for every user. We can dial it up. If you want more, we can dial it up. And we've got a couple of people who've dialed it up like to the moon. And after seeing how well they've done, I've also got a small $90,000 account where I've got it dialed up to the moon as well, just to see what happens. So this is the difference between retiring at 40 and retiring at 50. And because this has been life-changing, like really, this truly has been life-changing for me and my family. I want to give you the deal of a lifetime. So FINREF Silver is no longer free. I'm sorry, I should have edited this slide. It's $1,000. It's $1,000 for 3 years, but because I've been an asshole here, I'll give you a 50% discount if anyone wants that. FINREF Silver is a non-automated version of this system. You have to enter the orders yourself. It gets about 75% of the performance. It's pretty good. It's great returns. It's easy enough to do. You don't need full automation. You can do it on any exchange. There's a lot going for it. But FINREF Gold is really where you want to start. So FINREF Gold is $6,500 for 3 years of fully automated trend following trading. And FINREF Platinum gives you a couple of extra features. The first feature is to add multiple exchanges. So if you're worried that an exchange might go broke, like Binance might go broke, you can split your risk between exchanges. That's very valuable. The second thing you can do is have degenerate accounts. So you can have one account that's super high leverage and one account that's just normal. This is a very good strategy. The last thing that you get is the FINREF Gold is trend following only, which is the best edge, but FINREF Platinum is future-proofed with all future upgrades. So you get cross-sectional carry and you get the other edges that we're looking at adding, which are cumulative volume delta. Open interest is a strong edge. Average daily volume is a weak edge, but it's still worth adding. cross-sectional momentum is an edge, and liquidity is an edge. So those are the next ones on the drawing board, and then we'll probably add some sort of relative value strategy, mean reversion after that. So FinRev Gold for 6,500 for 3 years. You get 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FinRev. You get VIP onboarding with one of our expert, like truly expert coaches, not like guys from a place in the third world, people who've got their own money. Everyone who onboards has their own money in FinRev, so they understand it inside and out. You get all the same stats and monitoring that I've showed you today, and you can delay starting or pausing at any time. So let's say, hypothetically, you thought that this coin Retardio was a great opportunity, and I believe it is. I've got my single biggest position is Retardio. It looked like ass a week ago. It's already recovered the losses. It's a $24 million market cap. It could easily be a $200 million market cap coin. If you wanted to, you can just pause at any time. Say, oh, fuck it. I'm going to throw half my money in Retardio. I'm going to 10x that, and then I'm going to stick it back in FinRev. That's the game. You can be tactical. Don't be an idiot, but you can be tactical. And we have our double your money guarantee. So the guarantee is that if you aren't in profit after your first 12 months using the system, the clock stops and it only starts again once you've doubled your money. You can get this from finrev.trade/call, and these calls fill up really quick. So I'd get in very soon. Now, let's go through Platinum. It's the same thing, 9,500 for 3 years. Oh, by the way, what happens after the 3 years? Am I going to sting you for another 6,500, another 9,500? Fuck no. If you want to continue after the 3 years, I just charge you 20% of the profits we make together. That's forever. So I'm incentivized to make you money. If you don't make money in the long term, I'm not going to make shit. I have to make you money. I've set up the company so that if I don't make you money, I don't make money. So 9,500 for FinRev Platinum, you get 3 years of automated algorithmic trading with FinRev. You get the ability to split between multiple exchanges, multiple accounts. You can run a degen account with high leverage. You get the same comprehensive stats and monitoring. You get a completely custom system designed for your goals. So you can have some very conservative, some very wild. You can have it all in the middle. You can have it split between Binance and Bybit and DYDX. You'll get grandfathered into new systems. There's 6 more that we have on the drawing board that I've discussed for no extra charge. You can delay starting or pause at any time. Cross-sectional carry smooths out the returns. So one tends to work while the other loses money. You get our double your money guarantee. If you aren't in profit after the first 12 months using the system, we'll let you use it for free until you've doubled your money. And if you need a payment plan, if you need a shorter commitment, if you need a longer commitment, if you want to try it for a year, if you want to try it for 6 months, we got options. So just book in with the enrollment staff. It's not some high pressure sales bullshit. We'll take care of you. If you're an existing customer, if you want to upgrade, you can just pay the current 3K difference. It's what I've got my own money in. It's what everyone who works for us has got their own money in. It's what we put the spare money that the company makes in. It's what I tell my father to use. I wouldn't tell my father to buy Bitcoin and tell my father to use this. You should use this. This is the way to make crypto. You're not going to make as much. And I want to be clear that you're not going to make as much as when you buy a coin for nothing and then at 100Xs or 1000Xs. There's no 100Xs on offer. There's only 2Xs. But they happen every year and you don't get fucked. So I'm going to hand it back to Ian. And we're going to take some questions while you guys get your calls booked at finrev.trade/call.
All right, that was absolutely awesome. Yeah, just to reiterate what Scott said about the onboarding with the coach. So the coach is going to help you connect to the exchange. So DYDX is a super popular exchange with the American clients, and we access that via a VPN. I don't know, Scott, what would you say? Half of our customer base is American, maybe even more than 50% is American. So whilst
I can show you some metrics.
Yeah, there's a lot of scary comments about exchanges in there. You know,
So our biggest by far, half our customers are American right now. So we've got So we're running $6 million on DYDX V3. Only 800 grand on Binance out of the 12 million total. Yeah, so this is how it's changed over time.
Yeah, that was a big one with the exchanges. Okay, let me just skim back through. So
Rahul, no, Kraken US, Coinbase, and crypto.com spot exchanges. So we're using futures. If you use spot exchanges only, you only have the ability to make money when markets go up. We need exchanges with the ability to make money going up and down. And so the reason for that, I'll show you. Hey doggy, got my shoe. That's good. That's good. So these are our bearish forecasts today. These are our bullish forecasts. So the things that we think you should be long, XMR, Pepe, these ones, and we think you should still be short. So even though I'm personally very bullish on the market, the system disagrees. The system just says, fuck you, Scott, you're wrong. Like the system is cautiously optimistic, but still mostly bearish. So if you're only going to bet that the market goes up, well, this is the altcoin market cap over time. If you're only going to bet that the market goes up, you're going to make money here, you're going to make money here, you're going to make money here, and you're going to make money here, and you're going to have a hell of a shit time every other time. So that's a good way. So what happens if you think I'm only going to make money when the market goes up? You're going to get here and you're going to say crypto sucks and I'm out the door. And your face is going to have the sad face because you're going to give up.
yeah.
And you really will. Like, how many times have we seen it again and again and again? People give up. Oh, crypto didn't work for me. Oh, crypto's a scam because. So this kind of solves that problem, right? Like, you're going to lose money, you're going to go sideways, but you're not losing like 80, 90% of your money. You're losing like 20% of your money max. Like, yeah.
So just to chat about DYDX version 3 and version 4. So I've got a DYDX account and I run version 3. And just so that we're absolutely clear, there is no negative to being on version 3. And version 4 is just a natural progression. We're always looking at exchanges and we're always looking to stay fully up to date. So if anybody joins and they connect to V3, which takes... If you know how to click buttons on an exchange, you could do it with our guide, because we've got self-help guides for absolutely everything. You could do it in 3 minutes. We provide the onboarding VIP coaching with the coaches so that anybody that's not, I don't know how to press buttons, you know, you've got somebody there that's fully sorting you out. But the actual connection between the exchange and FinRev on our end is super simple. So when V4 comes out, I believe that it's going to be even more simple for the connection. So there's really no disadvantage to getting stuck in right now with DYDX V3. It's what I run.
There you go.
So
yeah,
Chris,
I'm going to switch to DYDX to V4 when the server's shipping in transaction land today. So I'm excited about that.
Nice, yeah.
That's I get some money from those empty Gox coins. So it's about 100 grand, and I'm going to throw that at high vol in on DYDX V4 and just let it ride. See if we can't 10x that 100 into a milli.
Well, I think that's more than possible. So Chris, just to confirm, the 50% off is for the silver only, the manual trading version of FinRev. But if there's something, say, with a payment plan that you're after with the gold or the platinum, if you have a chat with the enrollment directors, they can work something out for you. Do we use Hyperliquid with FinRev? What an interesting question that is.
Hyperliquid is the next one, and Hyperliquid has a lot of advantages going for it because we can we can make the onboarding super easy. We can make it into a vault. 3 months ago, Hyperliquid didn't have enough volume for it to make it work. Like we were going to max out Hyperliquid, but Hyperliquid has attracted all these market makers I know. When they release a coin, that coin is going to moon. Like Hyperliquid is, I know the owner, the product I've used myself. I've done millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of volume. I'm red hot on it. I think it's great.
Nice.
I'm not a well wisher. I'm a fan. I think it's the most innovative and best new product in crypto this cycle.
So if you want to claim the 50% off on the FinRev Silver, if you send a one-line email to this address, I was on the live event, can I get 50% off of FinRev Silver? Then we'll get you totally sorted out with that. Which leads into a question from JKD Elephant, maybe. Hey, if I start with $100 with FinRev Silver, how much can I make in 2 weeks? So I don't think that FinRev Silver quite works like that. It's not like I put $100 in, get $1 million out in 2 weeks. It is a manual version of the big FinRev, but it's still a trend following system. So you would be going in, and I think there's a maximum of 20 trades that you would have at any one time. So you'd go in each day, and the interface would say, today's trades, and it would tell you what to open and what to close. So you would be, entering and exiting positions fairly regularly, depending on where the system sees the trade. So I don't think it's a fair experiment. $100, what will I make kind of 2 weeks later? What would you add to that, Scott, about
that? I don't have anything to add to that other than that.
Okay.
Guys, we want to keep this to about an hour. So like we're coming up to the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, and it's been another great chat.
I really enjoyed this.
A minute left. So yeah, I mean, the good thing for me is like, FinRev is the adult in the room. That's taking care of the business. I've got multiple accounts. I've got a nice DGen account. But
what are you degening in at the moment, dude?
Say again?
What are you degening in? Because I'm in Retardio and Dolan Trent as my degen.
I'm mostly in Retardio, but I've taken it in the face a bit with the memes. So I've pulled back a little bit.
I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. I'm still.
I mean, over the length of the cycle, these things are just going to fire off. There's narratives that we haven't even thought of yet. I mean, look at that Hawk tour. Look at the virality of that. Another meme is going to come along that's going to hit with that virality that we can't even think of yet. And yeah, that's the main game. All right, well, that's pretty much bang on the hour. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Scott.
See you guys. See you in the group. Thank you so much. Get on those calls. They fill up quick.
Nice one.